Okay, statistics, question 5. You can see it's box and whiskers. Mrs. Henderson teaches 2 Mathematics 1 classes. Students took the Unit 4 test this week. The following box and whiskers plots show the summary statistics for each class. Okay, so for the first class, the minimum's 41, quartile 1 is 62, median's 82, 390, and so on. Okay, which of the following must be a true statement? So you're looking at this. If you just kind of don't look at the numbers necessarily, but look at the boxes themselves. Okay, just look at where they're located. You can see that this box right here is more scrunched, more close together, which means a bit more consistent. Okay, so that would mean in this particular group, okay, that these people are more consistent, they're more alike, they're more homogeneous than class 1. However, here's another point to look at. This represents the maximum value, okay, for class 2, and you'll notice that this class had much more high achievers. And in fact, if you look at one other thing here, you can see that the medians aren't terribly far apart, but class 1 has a higher median, okay? But let's look down here on the low end too, because that matters. The low end down here, not only was second period more consistent, okay, but they didn't have these people, the tail end of that one. There are some people who, I suppose around all of those high achievers, just quit and gave up. So, the question I guess is, let's look at the down here. By the way, Q1, it's the same. It appears to be very, very similar for both classes. So, which of the following must be true? The range of class 2 is greater than the range of class 1. No, in fact, it's exactly the opposite. Consistency means smaller range. So A is not the answer. The grades are more spread out in class 1. Yeah, that's true. Sometimes with stats, though, it's kind of like language arts. You have to look for the best answer, not necessarily the first one you come to. There are more students in class 1 than in class 2. That's one thing that you don't know, and you have no way of knowing how many students. You just know where the haves are and where the ends are, and so that one is not the answer because you don't know. Also, the mean grade. It doesn't tell you the mean grade. The mean is when you add them all up and divide. There's no way that you can know that based on this, and so D is not the correct answer. That means that B, the grades are more spread out in class 1. It was our first guess anyway, but I just wanted to make sure. B is the answer, okay? So, taking that information, and let's move to your redemption question. It's another box and whiskers. Okay, let's read it and see. A group of 100 people were asked to rate 2 restaurants on a scale from 1 to 10, and so you've got these 2 restaurants, Restaurant A and Restaurant B, and their overall ratings are just put into a box and whiskers plot. So they're looking for which statement is correct, and I'm going to move this up so that you can see it. The range of ratings is greater for A than B, or is it true that the range is greater for B than A, or is it true that the interquartile range of ratings is greater for A than B, or the interquartile range of ratings is greater for B than A, okay? So when they're saying interquartile range, and let me back up to right here, the interquartile range is located in here, okay? In this area right here, which means you'd take Q3 and subtract from Q1. But the range, you can tell by how wide it is. Here, the interquartile range is smaller than here because it's less spread out. But that being said, okay, that's what it's talking about when it talks about interquartile range. It's within the box, inside, in the box, okay? So, good luck on that. Talk to your teacher if you have any questions.